So I was on a quest to find a barbarian build that wasn't throwing and wasn't just swinging. So I wanted a good melee and ranged little hybrid build, more so melee and martial. So after doing some research, I came up with the strength Tiger-SporeBarb build, and it's pretty impressive. You're durable, you have good single target, you have great AoE, you have ranged spells before raging, you get extra temporary health and damage from the symbiotic entity that's coming from the Druid. You can spawn minions, you can get a fungal army, you can still shoot your bow and arrow, and it is amazing. So you're going to want to use symbiotic entity that boosts your damage and gives you temporary health, and then you want to protect that temporary health by barbarian raging to get the resistance, and then you're going to use this Act 3 chest armor to get haste spores for an extra action. What I like about this build is it's really strong in Act 3, you're like a one-man army. You can even level with strength if you want. I would actually recommend going dexterity and getting 2 one-handers for the leveling process. So we're going to cast the Ice Storm here, and that's going to hit all these enemies, do some damage. Unfortunately, none of them tripped, but that's okay. And this guy's going to go first. Hopefully he doesn't root me. He missed. Nice AC dodge right there. So, as you can see, I am missing an action. So I do have to go back into the haste spores, but that's okay. We're going to use the legendary effect here. Buff it with the luck, the Illithid luck, and boom, 2 hits like that. Big bot's hurting. I'm decided I would take a trade here. I would take the damage for the extra haste spores for the extra action. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. When combat started, I should have had the haste from haste spores, it just wasn't there. So another mistake there is I could have fired an arrow with that action, but I wanted to get out of the giant red danger circle. So they're all gonna jump and dash. And fortunately, they are lining up for a big cleave right here. And with this build, you can cleave up to 3 per cleave. It also applies bleed, but that's not big. That's not too important. And you can see there with the ice that's coming in. Got two prone trips right there. The Steel Watcher goes down, and I'm gonna walk around, get the haste, make sure I'm not proccing opportunity attacks, and look at that cleave. Always want to proc reckless attack if you're ever under-rolled on a hit. It's free. And then the second cleave, boom. Easy triple right there. And then you could choose here. Going with the guy to the left, he's ranged. I don't want to go on the ice yet. And I'm gonna use the bonus action from the Weapon Master here. And oh yeah, another cool thing is, as you can see, I got 3 action slots there. It's actually because I popped that Elixir of Bloodlust. So after each kill, you get a reset action, which is pretty cool. Just gonna take this one out. And then you can fly over the ice, which is nice. With the mobility of this build, if you do go Illithid, you don't have to. You're still mobile without it. And we're gonna hit a double cleave while they're prone with advantage. And then just finish it up right there. And then yeah, you do get the extra option to raise the fungals if you want to play a minion game, or you could do it after combat. So at this level you get to raise 4 per, I believe it's long rest. Okay, so we're starting out casting Spike Growth. We're going more with the Druidic minion attempt this time. So this build has some variety, which is pretty cool. You know, if you want to switch it up from here and there. So instead of doing Ice Storm, I summoned 2 minions that can also cast Spike Growth, and I threw out a Spike Growth myself. It's a level 2 spell. Boom, hitting haste spores here. Unfortunately, I think I lose one of these haste procs because I casted the spell. But anyways, we're still swinging 2 hits like a dunzo. Head back to the haste spores. He pulled that other fungal zombie over, so that guy's gonna be taking most of the heat. That's a smart card there. He went around the Spike Growth, but I think he just went into that red explosion though, so we might lose him there. Fungal's tanking over there, and thanks to the haste spores, now my minion can cast double Spike Growth. So they're going to be taking a lot of 4s, 5s, and 6s of piercing damage if they're going to walk through this. Oh, look at that. Area's covered. So let's see if they choose to walk over and just damage themselves. Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. Look at all those 4s popping up. Some decent damage, you know? Like bonus little damage while they're heading over. Ooh, free damage or free damage. They walked in the circle. I think 2 are in that red circle. That's kind of unfortunate. Ooh, that's 2 less targets I get to cleave. One's a pile there. Oh, the other survived. He just took some damage. Alright, so I just decided, you know what? I'm going in. I'm a Barb. Let's go. So popping the Rage. Eyeing that Tiger's Bloodlust. Choosing left side because that guy's damaged. Boom, free. We're getting the Bloodlust elixir resets. Plus, we get reset on auto attacks when they connect. There's a certain amount on that. And here, I can't quite reach the next target, so I opt to raise a fungal. And another cool thing about these martial builds is I'm still proficient with the bow. You know, I'm still pretty good with it. I'm not as good as a Dex Ranger, or a Barb, or a Rogue, but I'm still good. But as you can see here, we're firing and popping Executioner from the ring, free crit, boom. And then we also got necrotic damage because of our symbiotic entities. Taking some hits there, and now it's time to bring in the minion army. I think the concentration got broken there, but it's all good. Or is a line of sight breaking that spike growth, but it happens. So we're gonna bring the minions closer. Now they're engaged. This one's lining up for the perfect cleave, getting Illithid side backlashed. Now it's the zombie's turn. So he got that hit in. So if that enemy dies on this turn, they're going to become a fungal zombie. Double reckless attack, increasing our advantage if we're going to miss. Boom, we got a fungal zombie right there. Now we got 2. It can snowball. They aren't super tanky, but it's possible. And I'm going to go with the bonus weapon action. Swift auto. I can still go again. I think I'm a little low on mobility here. That happens, so we use the minion army. Boom, done. Easy. So first off, we're going to pick Barb. That gives you rage, which is fantastic. You got to make sure you keep attacking, and it also gives you an armored defense. Alright. So we're going to level up here. I normally take Barb to level 5, so we get Danger Sense here. It's advantage on some dex saving throws. And you get Reckless Attack. I never use this, I just use it as a bonus reaction. When I'm missing a target, it gives you advantage. So if you're gonna miss them, it gives you advantage so that you might hit them. It's still never a guarantee, but it helps. They also get advantage against you the next turn, but usually you don't have to worry about that. Another cool thing about Barb is that you take 50%, which is physical damage, which means you, against physical, you have an extra 50% Spore temporary health when you pop that, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go with the Wildheart subclass, and I'm picking Tiger. I like Tiger a lot. Gives you Tiger's Bloodlust, which is that cleave you were seeing, which makes enemies bleed, and it just lets you spam cleave. And then your rage, of course, which is fantastic. Reducing damage, boosting damage. Of course, you can choose whatever piercing you want there. I normally just run Tigers because I'm going Tiger here. So, next we're getting a feat. The first feat that I always get, I love it, even if you miss a little bit in the early game, is Great Weapon Attacker, Great Weapon Master right here. You can toggle it on and off, but yeah, you're going to get a -5 penalty to attack rolls, so you're going to miss more. But when you do land, you get an extra +10 to your damage rolls, and you get an extra bonus attack. So it's really nice if you're not using your bonus actions. We're going to take this to level 5, which gives us extra attack and fast movement. You get an extra 3 meters of movement while not wearing heavy armor. I don't recommend heavy armor unless it's part of your build. You can change your bestial heart here, but I'd keep it the same. Bear is nice if you want to be resistant to magic, but I normally do that for like a throwing build. Or take that back. I do that for a single target build. If you want a throwing build, you normally go with the other Barb subclass, the frenzied one. So we're gonna lock in 5 here. And from here, I like to go full add class Druid. And you can, if you want to choose these for early game, Shellac could be nice if you want to run a staff. If not, Thorn Whip and Guidance if no one else in the party has it. Spell-wise, I like Thunderwave. I like Long Strider for the whole team. Can't Sleep is nice. Ice Knife if you want to trip someone. I actually like to get Healing Word, ranged heals. So you could bring up an ally with that if they're down. You know, normally a martial class can't do that unless they're like a Eldritch, right? So here we get to pick our circle. I'm gonna go with Circle Spores. You do get Shapeshift. I never use it personally. What Halo Spores I don't really use too much. I just pop it on reaction. This is the big one, Symbiotic Entity. You get temporary health points, you deal necrotic damage, cast Halo Spores with double damage. Sure. But this stacks well with the Barbarian Rage, because that extra 50% reduced physical means if you have 8 temporary hit points, you actually have 16 against physical. So it just makes it last longer, you do more damage longer, it's great. Spells, exact same. At each point in these Druid levels buffs Symbiotic Entity, which is the synergy here. Spell-wise, you can grab whatever. I like Spike Growth. There's Moonbeam, which is cool. Gust of Wind, want to blow away poisons and stuff. I do hear Heat Metal's good. I've never ever used it though. Flame Spear. Yep. And then let's just go from there. Now we're hitting Druid level 4. We are level 9. Gonna just take a free resistance, sure. Actually, produce flame. That's good. So now we get our second feat. This is great. You could go with straight ability points if you want. Alert if you want to go first in a fight. All these things are great. But I'm gonna focus on crit in Act 3. So I'm gonna actually go with Savage Attacker. When making melee weapon attacks, you roll your damage dice twice and use the highest results. I think this is fantastic. Now we're level 10, Druid level 5, Barb level 5. Spell-wise, you can get some better spells. You can get like Sleet Storm, Call Lightning, Plant Growth if you want to slow enemies. Pretty good, pretty good. Now another level, we're 11. Barb 5, Druid 6. Same spells haven't changed, that's all good. We're just buffing our Symbiotic Entity. But now we can raise Fungal Infestation, which is really nice. Those are those little zombies. Sometimes you can build an army. If they get the final hit on an enemy, or if they hit them during that same turn, that enemy when they die becomes a fungal zombie, which is pretty cool. Big snowball effect. But they're mainly out there taking the brunt of some of the damage. So now, the final level here, this brings us to level 12. We hit level 7 Druid. And what's cool about this is we get level 4 spells, so you can conjure Woodland Being, and then the Woodland Being can summon another summon, and they can cast, they can cast Spike Growth. They make it so when you're near them, you aren't impacted by any terrain that immobilizes you. Kind of cool. I like summoning them. Or you can conjure Minor Elemental Flame Wall if you want. I really like Ice Storm. I think it's a great one. But yeah, I usually would run something like this with my spells. And yeah, that's all the leveling. Running for this build in Act 3 is running the Baldarian's Giant Slayer, and you want to focus on speccing Strength, Constitution, and a little bit of Wisdom for those Druid spells. And of course, later on, there's an amulet you can get that boosts your constitution to 23, and there's also gloves you can get that boosts your strength to 23. So in Act 3, you can spec out of constitution and out of strength. I put points towards dex, wisdom, a little bit of charisma. You might even want to pump up wisdom a little bit more. So back to the build. Any big two-hand you can get. Boot-wise, I like the Helldeath boots. You cannot be moved forcibly, and you get this cool AoE teleport where you do like a flame circle. Really nice if you need the free extra movement that doesn't cost any movement. Running the gauntlets of Hill Giant Strength. That's just a ton of strength saving throw. Kind of rounds out the build in Act 3 if no one else is using it. Now this is really important. The armor of the Spore Keepers. You can get this from the Necromancer. And I think you can buy it in one of the mansions. So what this does is whatever you do bonus, necromantic, damage, whatever. But every time when you have a symbiotic entity going, you do haste spores, which is a circle of haste that enemies and allies can run in and out of in combat, giving you a bonus action, as you just saw. Another thing you can do is you can do tin knife spores. I don't really use these too much, but they funnel. And you can also do the bigger fang spores. It's like poison. If you have Hero's Feast, you can run around in that as much as you want. You don't have to worry about it. So, back to the items. I like running Cloak of Protection extra, armor class saving throw, and I like the Zevrock's Horned Helmet. Gives you dark vision if you don't have it. The extra crit roll is amazing, and it's very effective, especially when you're cleaving. Can't be frightened. Constitution saving throw, it's fantastic. Here's the amulet with the 23 Constitution. This is just the only ring that I had. I'm sure there's a better ring out there. And then this ring is great. If no one else is using that Killer Sweetheart, when you kill a creature, your next attack will be a critical. Which just, you're going to be getting a lot of creatures taken out, and this build is really good. If you run it with the Elixir of Bloodlust, you can still pop elixirs of speed, or potions of speed, sorry. And then on top of that, you can always go with the Hill Giant Strength potions as you're leveling. And there's also another one that's what is it called? Elixir of wait. Elixir of